What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So you see on your screen now, Anthony, the wig pusher, backer, Joshua, has made an Etherin post on his Snapchat. And he said the following. Listen, let me tell you something now quickly as well. Your boy Tyson Feary is shook. And I warned AJ, I told him, AJ, I rang him the other day and said, yo boss, let me tell you something, still, calm down with all the smoke you put on Feary recently. Don't be smoking him up. And actually, I actually had to apologise because obviously you man heard my video. I said to AJ on the video, I said, listen, I'm not really feeling this whole smiley business on Jonathan Ross with Feary on there. I prefer the more gully approach. However, like I said, I had to apologise. Because AJ told me, listen YB, if I ain't smiling, what, you think I can go gully and Feary going to sign the contract? I thought, yes, you're right. You're absolutely correct. Don't do that. 100%. If you want this fight, you need to be loosey-goosey and fruity-tooty. Because we know what Feary, he loves that fruity-tooty stuff. He likes to kiss. He likes to do all that whisk. You know man there, them fruity dons. He likes to squeeze the bottom. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's Feary for you. Kisses and squeezing bottoms. He wants that. That's what he likes to feel like. He likes to feel like he's in control as such. He likes to feel like it's all relaxed. That's how the Wilder fight went, didn't it? It was all fruity tooty, kissy, and then they went in there, and Wilder got caught lacking. So AJ was right on that one. Because if you turn up gully, Feary going out the door. He's going to go and fight on ESPN somewhere and fight some bumps. That's what we do know. Feary can't really, mentally speaking, he can't handle the smoke. Let's not forget, when AJ was silent and not saying nothing, that put the fear of God into Feary. And that's when Feary was saying, oh well, I'm not well. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I need some time off. Oh, please, Anthony Joshua. Oh, let's not forget that. He was on ESPN interview, on BT Sport interview, saying he depressed, he tired. The thought of fighting AJ is knackering him out. He's too stressed. He sent all of his camp home, which he had done, by the way. That's not a lie, because he's only just flown out back there to go back with them. He sent all of them home back in November. He didn't want no more smoke. The AJ got in his head and tied him out. So you're right, I was wrong. Put my hands in the air. You're right. AJ didn't need to be gully, because the gully thing, he'll get too shook. I've heard that when AJ goes silent, when AJ acts too gully, Feary, he gets flashbacks. He's got PTSD. And allegedly, a lot of Fury's psychological issues have actually arose, or actually the base of it. I've spoken to Fury's counsellor, and he told me that basically the bulk of, or the cause, the fundamental source of a lot of Fury's psychological anguish is based on, or is the foundation of that, is from the sparring session back in 2011 or whenever it was. That's where it comes from. That's the source of it. That's the flame that's burning. That's the fuel, rather, that's burning the flame of Fury's mental anguish. That sparring session left Feary scarred for sure. And that's why the minute AJ starts signalling, he's looking to get in the panties, Feary he withdraws. He goes wiggy. He goes missing. He needs time off. Do you understand? It's all linked, you know. It's all linked. It all makes sense now. Why Feary never really wants to commit to AJ, because he knows what happens. Yeah, he remembers what happens last time he committed. What do you mean, YB? What do you mean the last time Feary committed? The last time Feary committed to an entanglement with AJ was that sparring session. Let's not forget that. People forget that sparring, yeah, that's a commitment. That's an entanglement. Yes, let's not forget that day back in 2011. AJ picked the phone up and said, yo, do you want to spar? Feary said, oh yes, oh. AJ came round, gave Feary the beats, and then that's ever since then, he never really wanted to commit to it, you know what I mean? He never really wanted to commit to anything to do with AJ like that. Not in a physical way. Don't get me wrong, he'll go on Jonathan Ross, he'll be fruity, he'll have a laugh, but when it comes to committing to going in there with the smoke man, Drake called it jump man. AJ is the smoke man, no doubt. when it come to getting in there with a smoke, man, Feary just ain't really feeling it the same way. He ain't really on that kind of thing. He'd rather stay on Jonathan Ross. I've even heard Feary said, AJ, do you think, never mind Wembley, never mind Rydia, how about we do it on Jonathan Ross? That's what he wants to do. Feary would love this fight to be on Jonathan Ross. Them just to go on there and act, you know what I mean? Be a battle of words, essentially. He didn't really want to make it physical. Like I said, it all goes back to that 2011 day. When Feary made it physical then, he didn't fare well. He got the beats. AJ gave him the beats. 100% out of his own mouth. Anyway, I've given you the background right now. Now we can move on to today's post, because like I said, I had to ring AJ and tell him, yo, this ain't it, boss. If you want this fight, this ain't it. You need to keep these feelings inside yourself until it's locked in. AJ said the following: I can't wait till that right hand lands. Look at the dent in the heavy bag. Wow, look at the dent. Look at the dent, he said. I said, did you really need to use them words? Feary gonna see that and be like, oh yes, I'm tired. Oh, I need a break. Oh, that's what you're gonna be saying. Oh well, I need a break. 100%. That there is need a break kind of dent. If any of you man didn't understand, that is a I need a break right now kind of dent. That ain't a little bit of a dent. That's not a, oh well, never mind dent. That's a I need a break right now looking dent. 100%. And this is why I don't even really want to promote this video, because if Feary sees this video, it's all over. The fight can be off. He ain't want no dent. And we've seen Feary on the bag before. Feary ain't putting no dent in no bag. That's the thing. When Feary hits the bag, his hand bounces off. He ain't denting nothing. He slaps. 100%. Feary slaps the bag. He ain't doing no dent. Feary ain't never made no dent, apart from in Wilder's head. The only dent what Fury's made is in Wilder's clot. Wilder's clot must be made out of crackers. Yeah? The way it dented. Listen, Wilder's head's soft. That's what we do know. Because if his head was made out of any minerals, he wouldn't be getting dented by Feary's slaps, would he? That's what we do know. Yeah? Feary slapped him upside his head got dented. His barnet got dented. Bent his barnet for him. Wow. But on a serious note, AJ turning over the right hand, digging it in, and denting the bag. All jokes aside, I hope AJ brings that level of snare to this fight. And just quickly, I know there'll be some man out there who are mad at hearing this, but the reason, the YB rates Jake Paul is because no matter what no one says, Jake Paul went in there with an equal level foe. JP's only had 3 or 4 fights. Every time he's going in there, stepping up against someone who he's not supposed to beat. And from the jump, the JP is swinging leather, throwing heavy shots, dinging the right hand from the jump. Very hard to do, by the way. I know people who have boxed for 10 years who can't go into a fight and throw big right hands from the jump. It's difficult to do. Most fighters just want to stay behind the jab and keep it safe, not the JP. That's the attitude you want to have. And that's why I hate to break it to people, but that's why JP taking over the sport of boxing right now. He's dominating the sport of boxing. He's fighting people. He's fighting the best people, but most importantly, he's going in there with devastating, bad intentions. So the way that AJ hit this bag, I want to see that. Doesn't mean you load up, by the way, as well. That's another key thing. And this is why the training team is so important. You need to know how to harness devastating intentions. Doesn't mean you load up and you lean over and you miss by miles. It means, yes, you have bad intentions, but it has to be combined with the correct technique. In the Pulev fight, in snippets, you can't deny AJ had some bad intentions in them shots, for sure. Now, from round 3 to round 10, there weren't no intentions nowhere. But in them snippets, there was 10 out of 10 bad intentions. What was missing in pretty much all of the bad intention work was technique. Technique was lacking. 4 uppercuts, all missing. All not causing damage. That there is the bad intent. You can see AJ had bad intentions on all of them. But the technique was missing. the higher level IQ parts of working people and touching them in different places. And that's why I blame the training team, because I hate to break it to you, man, but these things AJ was doing before. It's not like, well, IB, his technique's always been poor, or he's always had bad intentions, but he hasn't known where to place it. Absolutely not. AJ used to dissect Dons. Go and watch Dillian White. Go and watch all the other fights pre Joseph Parker. Go watch them all. AJ was the king of going in there and was working Dons. I've done 2 videos on it already. AJ piecing up Takam. And Takam was a short and stubby Don, which means that there wasn't much to hit. So Takam's got no neck, no head, just a little short stubby Don. And even so, AJ was opening him up, hitting him, touching him all over. You didn't see AJ waste much, or better yet, you didn't see AJ. It was a good balance between technique and bad intentions. The Pulev fight, there weren't much technique there on the offensive side. Don't get me wrong. On the defensive side, that was down pat. In the Pulev fight, AJ had the defensive game down pat, 100%. But offensively, very poor. The intention was there. He was putting loads of effort in, but the yield, the effectiveness of how he was transferring that power was poor. And unfortunately, if it's one thing, to go in there with Pulev, and that you can't, what I'm saying is, against Feary, you can't afford that. You can't afford, them mistakes that you was making against Pulev are going to cost you much more in the Feary fight, because Feary, no matter what we say about him, yes, he's no good, but still, his levels above Pulev. Much quicker, much younger, much hungrier, etc., etc. So when you're missing 4 uppercuts, you can't afford to be doing that. There's no point. You need to be, them bad intentions, them denting intentions, needs to be combined with a high level execution, a high level technique. Shane McGuigan, Canelo Alvarez's trainer. That's how they get their cats. Their cats. When Lawrence Okolie was in there with Glowowski, he weren't wasting nothing. And then you saw how it ended in devastating fashion with one shot. Okolie just flicked the right hand out. Now compare it to AJ versus Pulev. AJ versus Pulev, several times you'd see AJ missing by miles with the right hand. No need to be doing that. Look at Okolie. Okolie in there, he ain't wasting no right hand. And then eventually in round 7 he puts him out clean with one shot. That there's a mentality. That there's, you've been bred to do that. You've been trained to do that. Same as Conor Benn to an extent. Same kind of stuff. All of his shots were digging, they were landing. It's a really important part of boxing that gets missed by bum trainers who don't know what they're doing. So yeah, Fury can get dented, but you don't want to. It's almost like a. And this is why the sport's so beautiful. This is why the offensive side of the sport is so beautiful, because it's not most people think, oh, it's a fight. Oh, AJ really wants to beat Fury, so you could just go in there with bad intentions. But clearly, we've proven, what the Pulev fight shows or illustrates, bad intentions isn't enough. It's when you look at an athlete, or when you look at an elite boxer like AJ, an elite offensive boxer, it's not enough just to say, oh, we're going to go in there with bad intentions. No, you have to get. I see it like, imagine a dial, with loads of different buttons on it, or loads of different, what they call them, where you spin them, like a volume button. You can spin it, and it changes the level of volume. I see a deck with loads of different spinning tops on it. Or loads of different, you know what I mean? I'm not sure what they're called, but loads of different things where you can change the level on it. I see 50 of them. A deck with 50 spinning tops on it that you can change the levels on. And in an elite athlete like AJ, coming up against someone like Fury, the best in the division at the moment, you need to have each dial at the exact perfect level. You need to have bad intentions maximised. You need to have technique. Do you know what I mean? It all has to line up perfectly, or optimum. It's not enough just to have bad intentions turned up to the max and then technique and execution is poor, because you end up wasting a lot, wasting energy, and potentially in there with someone like Fury, who's quicker and more cute on the inside than Pulev, he may actually make you pay for it, i.e. counterpunch or whatever. He may do. Pulev weren't never going to do that, and that's why I was petitioning for AJ to go in there and just open him up and test things out. Pulev should have been in test fight. However you want to perform against Fury, and that's what I was saying from a jump. And if I was in AJ's camp, that's what we would have been doing. Pulev's the perfect one. Couldn't really pick a better opponent in terms of style. Pulev will be the perfect one to test things out. However we want to perform against Feary, we're going to do it on this guy. It's no good going in there against Pulev loosey-goosey and then saying, oh, well, I want to perform like Canelo did against Feary. Why not test that strategy out against Pulev? But that's water under the bridge now. End of the day, the bad intentions need to be there. But your training team need to pull their finger out their backside and understand what that means. Bad intentions, AJ's bad intentions aren't enough. Well, they're enough to win, but they're not enough to get the best out of yourself. They're not enough to get the best performance possible. Because AJ's bad intentions proved it was enough to knock Pulev out. Will it be enough to knock Feary out? We don't know. I argue we don't need to be asking these questions because AJ's bad intentions combined with good execution, good trainer, good technique, and Fury's out there within 7. So